Welcome to Excel Beyond Boundaries. This is episode 11 with Nicole Williams, who's a photographer and also a fitness enthusiast in Boise, Idaho. And thank you for joining us today, Nicole.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And to start out, I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to begin your fitness journey?
Yeah, so it's kind of I don't know if it's a really long story. I grew up athletic family. My dad was a swimmer, competitive swimmer. He went to nationals, world championships. So naturally, my sister and we were kind of forced into swimming at a young age. I did that throughout high school and just later on, when you actually have college career, all of that, the weight kind of creeps on. I never really found good coping mechanisms to manage my stress, and so over time, like, the scale kept moving up, the body fat kept going up.
Oh, yeah.
I ended up, in one point, I lost a bunch of weight. I like unhealthy. I was working part-time, so I did like 3 to 4 hours of cardio every day, no strength training. I thought strength training was just for vain people. I just totally didn't get it. Uh, I, that obviously wasn't sustainable. So I ended up gaining all of the weight back over a few years and then some. But 2020 was a really rough year for me. It's honestly when I hit my rock bottom. I'm a photographer. That's how I sustain, my livelihood.
Definitely.
Doing wedding photography with COVID was a really stressful time. I didn't know how I would survive. My dad actually got diagnosed with an aggressive cancer and he died that year as well. And
I'm
so
so
there was just like, thing after thing. I started, like, over the years, I drank a lot of alcohol. And that year, my alcohol, I don't know if it would, I hate saying the word alcoholism because I do have a drink on occasion. I'm not, completely sober, but I was definitely alcohol dependent. And as you know, you drink and your dependency grows, so you have to drink more and more to,
uh,
get your buzz and get that high. So it wasn't until June of 2021, one of my friends from high school was actually a personal trainer, and she gave me a month of free training. And so I trained in my garage with strength training, and I actually started to really like it. It was a little uncomfortable. I refused to step into a gym because I was so insecure. But I did that for about a year and realized how amazing I felt. I was still drinking pretty heavily at the time, but um, I was able to start switching that itch, I guess I needed the with alcohol. I kind of traded it for lifting. I think it was, how it's like alcohol, you drink because you're anxious and depressed, and it just makes it worse and worse
yeah,
versus
like a
like
downward spiral in a sense.
yes. And so I just realized something needed to change. And losing my dad, he was only like 57 when he died. And then I also lost my uncle in 2021 to alcoholism. And so I knew that if I didn't make that change, like, I was guaranteeing myself an early death. And even just my depression was really bad. I never tried to commit suicide or anything, but I honestly am terrified to think about what path I would have taken had I not made a change. And so once I made that change, it was easy to not look back and to keep going down the road I've been going down. So,
It's powerful.
yeah.
Yeah, wow. So the turning point was the after losing your loved ones, and
Hmm.
then also with COVID, with the your career having some challenges, and then the drinking and the kind of spiraling down with the habits.
Yes.
So the turning point was getting into lifting, and then that
Yes.
ultimately turned things around for you.
Yeah, I felt, again, it took a while because let's see, my weight has fluctuated, throughout this journey. It's been about 3.5 years, and I finished a bulk this last year and I'm currently cutting. So, obviously your weight shifts as you put on more muscle, but my heaviest weight was about 210 pounds, got down to like 145. And then, through the process of the last couple of years, I've been gaining a little weight because I've been gaining muscle. But yeah, my self-worth was just terrible. Like, I realized I really did hate myself, and it took a long time for me to realize that. And the gym is what made me start really falling in love with myself. I know that might sound strange to say, but just building that confidence and that security and knowing that I am worthy was really the turning point.
That's
So,
amazing. That really
yeah.
is a powerful story, and I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how influential fitness is mentally, like with mental health and building that confidence. When you first started, you had guidance from your friend as a personal trainer, right?
Yes. Yeah. She would do online training. So it was really through an app. But the way I was raised, I wouldn't do like I would try to be a people pleaser. And so I wouldn't do things for myself necessarily. I would do things to make other people feel proud of me, which is like that's how I would feel worthy and accepted. And so some of my past jobs I would try to be the hardest worker I could be to gain that approval and that, I mean, not like love, but you know what I mean? Like just that
Yeah,
self worth, that gratification, I guess. And
acknowledge.
so, yes, exactly, acknowledgement. And so with my trainer, I don't think I ever told her this, but it wasn't me doing the workouts for me when I started. It was like, oh, I don't want to disappoint her by missing anything, so I have to do them, which, like, it's not like that anymore, obviously, but that's kind of how it started. My people pleasing tendencies helped me be successful there. But,
That's cool though that you were putting other people first in a sense where you were so, selfless. You were putting other
mm
people first and you didn't want to disappoint them. And it is interesting how at that time it worked since you didn't feel like you wanted to do it for yourself.
hmm,
You did it
mm hmm.
for him. And ultimately it came around
It
and
did.
yeah. That's awesome. What was the biggest challenge, would you say, when you first got started? So it wasn't the consistency because you wanted to
Mm
meet their
hmm.
expectations?
I think really having realistic expectations, as you know, weight loss and muscle gain can take a very long time. Not to be discouraging to people, but it can take, years. And I think we're so used to that instant gratification that, if you're not seeing, I hate using the scale as the, end all be all. It's not, but a lot of people do. But especially when you're starting out, if you're not seeing that scale drop, like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. I'm not doing everything right. And so setting realistic expectations of myself and knowing, focusing on other things, how your health is, your clothes fitting, like just your own confidence, the mental aspect. I saw a post by a gal today, actually, and she was discouraged in herself because she only lost 6 pounds in a week and a half. And I was like,
We can
what?
have
Yeah,
whoa.
that's a lot of weight. But I was kind of taken aback. But then I'm like, I used to be that person who had the same, would, I'd make a weight loss goal. This is before I started strength training. And I would calculate, I'm like, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds by, a month or two. And so I would sit and I'd be like, okay, I have to lose. I do the math. And each day I'm like, okay, I have to lose like 0.75 of a pound every day to get to my goal. And then, of course, I would fail or I would quit in like, half a week because that
No,
obviously is not practical or sustainable. Yeah, I think creating realistic expectations and not focusing on the scale was the biggest thing, the challenge in the beginning.
that's good advice and completely makes sense because yeah, if you don't have good expectations that are real, it can be
Hmm.
very discouraging.
Yes.
That absolutely makes sense. Would you say if you had to describe your fitness journey in one word, what would you say that is?
That's
I know it's a
one word.
tough question to ask.
No, you're fine. I guess perseverance, maybe. Just, I'm not ever going to quit. I'm always going to, you might, one step forward, two steps back, but I'm always going to move forward. And honestly, now, like, it sounds silly probably, but the most exciting part of my day, like, I go to bed and I'm so excited to train the next morning. I'm like, have my coffee and go to the gym. That's like, I'm still obsessed with it. I love it so much. So I
That's
might
amazing.
be a weirdo. I love it.
No, that means a lot because people who don't work out don't know how beneficial it is, mentally,
Yeah,
physically, and how it's a privilege, to work.
100%.
Yeah, and people, I hope that people listening to this episode and future episodes can change their mindset and instead of seeing workouts as, "Ooh, I have to do this,"
You get
more
to. Yeah.
exactly.
I used to be one of those people. And again, I know not everyone's going to be like me. I'm probably a freak of nature for being so excited. Yeah, I used to make fun of my brother-in-law when he was into lifting and I was just doing the cardio phase years ago. And it's funny because I see him at the gym and we just laugh about it now, where
It's
like
fun.
I've done a 180.
That sounds like it. That's good though
Yeah.
that you were open to growth and, continuing to progress.
Yeah.
What is your fundamental why, would you say, your driving force? Because I know that your fitness journey, different things changed along your journey, which is completely natural. So at this point, what is your driving force that keeps you going?
Yeah, I just want to be the best version of myself and I I learn more about myself. I grow as a person by doing things that make me, challenge myself and that make me uncomfortable. Like being on this podcast is uncomfortable for me. I don't like, seeing myself talk, but I'm doing it. And I know that it's just going to help me grow as a person and just be better. Like I just want to keep improving and hopefully too, me sharing my story will at least help someone else too.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. There's so much value for sure already.
Yeah.
We're only 11 minutes. If you could give one piece of advice to someone who's just starting their fitness journey, in your experience, what would you say?
I think really setting realistic expectations, but focusing on one thing at a time. I know it can be so overwhelming when you think you need to do all these things perfect right out of the gate. But I think if you don't work out at all, you know, get in the habit of working out, even if that's 10 minutes, even if that's, walking 10 minutes, maybe next week do a little more strength training. And then once you get consistent with that, you can start dialing in on your nutrition more or, like drinking less or, certain healthy things. I think that so many people think they have to do all the things at once. And it is a lot when you're not used to it, especially if you don't have those lifestyle habits in place. So baby steps, I guess. And, some people might do well doing all the things at once, but I don't think most people are probably like that.
No, I agree, and I'm really glad you said that because that's great advice to just start with one thing and
Hmm.
then let things unfold.
And that's how I became successful too. It was the getting in the habit of working out and then it was trying to make some better food choices and then I started tracking my food, which I know isn't for everyone. I think that you'd find the most success doing that personally. And then it was starting to drink less, and then mostly cutting out alcohol. It just kind of was a domino effect and it made
Nice.
it easy. It was a natural progression for me.
That's awesome. Well, very well said. Thank you for sharing that for sure. Getting into the mindset and mental health section. How has fitness, I know we kind of touched on this earlier, but if you want to dive deeper, how has fitness impacted your mental health and overall well-being? If there's anything you want to add to that.
Yeah. Oh man, I think that's why I love it so much is because it's completely changed everything about me mentally. Like I said earlier, I really did hate myself and I didn't realize that. I think growing up when you're told certain things about you, especially as a child, you just kind of accept them as reality and you don't, it's cheesy, but those like the mantras where you're like, I am worthy, I am
Yeah.
loved, like all of that. I didn't believe it at first, but I made myself say, I'd have some and I'd say it to myself or the daily affirmations, I guess. And over time, I realized like how, okay, I do believe this. It's true. And yeah, just even my outlook, I feel like I'm more of a realist. I used to be really negative. I'm not like an optimist. I feel like today I'm a realist, but
Okay,
I
understood.
know that, yeah, challenging things will come my way. And I'm like, okay, I know I'll be able to get through them. I have the strength to endure versus before, I think I would have just curled up in a ball and, been defeated. And so,
That's good. So you
yeah.
feel empowered overall from
Yes, exactly.
and more confident. Um, it's what was I gonna say? It's amazing how it really does instill that confidence
Hmm.
and subconsciously when like you said growing up if you're told a certain thing it's hard to break those patterns. The subconscious is so powerful. So the mantras do help. That's cool that you
Hmm.
had of certain mantras. What would you say is your most proud moment of your fitness journey? Would it be, when you hit rock bottom and you decided to take charge, start lifting, and take those steps? Or would you say more so integrating it into your lifestyle, being open to growth? What part of your fitness journey are you most proud of?
I think really just the confidence that I've gained in myself. I think, I was terrified to go to a gym for the longest time. Like I worked out in my garage for a year and a half before I stepped into the gym. Even though I'd go for cardio but strength training. I was just so insecure, and now it's like the place where I go where I feel the most confident and secure in myself, and I just love the community that of people, it's like you think these people are scary, but some of the nicest, most supportive people there. And everyone is so focused on themselves. Obviously, like sometimes people are, I do people watch sometimes, but it's more just to see if there's anyone doing any cool workouts I haven't done before. But just seeing that confidence growth in myself from 0 to, not 100, but it's amazing. So I think that's what I'm most proud of.
Good, awesome, awesome. And it is cool to see how everyone's doing their own thing at the
Hmm.
gym. Everyone has their individual path, their individual journey, but yet you're all doing it together.
Yes. Yeah. And it's nice when you go and you have the regulars and the friendly faces that so trying to get to know more people, but also it's hard when you do get to know more people because your workouts become longer because you have to talk to everyone. So just allotting a little more time.
That's true. Yeah, it's hard to
Yeah.
get away from the social part of that. That's funny. For mantras, I know we just touched on that. Do you have a specific mantra or philosophy or mental exercises that you do to help you stay focused? Anything particular like before lifting?
Not really before lifting. I used to be really good about meditating when I woke up in the morning, just, like 10 minutes just to kind of start my day. I've honestly been pretty terrible about it lately, but I need to do it more because I get seasonal depression and like every winter, it's not nearly as bad as it used to be, but it's still, I am a summer like hiker, and I hate winter sports and being cooped up in the house. So
Wow.
but a mantra for me that I actually cried when I realized this, but this was years ago. But I think I always was searching for something outside of myself to make me feel complete. And when I was meditating and I told myself, I am whole. Like my subconscious just said that, like, I am whole just how I am. I don't need any. I think so many people are looking for things outside of themselves to complete them, but we already have all the things that we need. We just need to, I guess, realize it.
That's
So,
good. That is
yeah,
very good. I mean, even I need to be reminded of that. Like
I do
everybody.
too at times.
Yeah, no, I'm learning a lot right now. That's powerful. Yeah, to remember that we have everything we need, we are complete,
Hmm.
but to be open for growth at the same
Yes.
time.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
that's awesome. Wow. What is the most important? It's kind of random. Same category though. What is the most important thing someone can do to start living a healthier, more authentic life, would you say? And I know it's kind of general, but if there's something that you really feel would be a strong first step or very effective first step.
I honestly, we were just talking about meditation, but I think, sorry, repeat the question. How can they live a more authentic life?
Yeah, the most important thing that someone can do to basically start a healthy lifestyle or um, um, taking steps to live more true to themselves.
I think looking in the mirror and really being honest with yourself and acknowledging where you are and where you want to be is really important. Having that self awareness and asking, like, your why. What is your why? Why do I want to be better? If it's for your kids, if, just something like that, I think would, yeah, journaling, just kind of helping you figure out the answers to those questions, self
Self-discovery.
reflection.
The self-discovery to kind of dig
Yes.
deeper. Ah, yes. I feel like that's missing in curriculum. Like we're not taught that growing up to
Yeah.
ourselves.
That's why I like going out in nature, honestly. There's always so many things that occupy our brains and meditating helps, but I when you go out in nature, at least me, I feel like I'm not thinking about all of my problems or, drama or anything. I'm just completely present, soaking in the moment, and you just feel so at peace. And I have some of my best realizations when I'm just out by myself, on a trail
Wow.
looking at the birds. I'm really old, I feel like, and I get really excited when I see certain birds. So,
Bird watching.
yeah.
That's awesome. Is there good hiking in Boise?
Oh yeah, decent in Boise. We have some beautiful mountains about like 2, 3 hours from here. that are just stunning. So a little bit of a drive, but it's worth it.
That's cool. And
Yeah.
I know you talked about the seasonal depression. I know that's very common.
Yes.
And so this time of the year, it's pretty cold up until what, like March?
Yeah, we've actually had a really mild winter this year. We don't typically get a ton, we do get snow, but we don't typically get a lot of snow. It's more in the mountains, which are like 30 minutes from here. But it's just, we get really bad inversions where the mountains, we're in a valley. So there's clouds that get trapped. So a lot of times we could go weeks without seeing the sunshine. It's not really been that bad this year, but just also with the shorter daylight hours and you kind of have to force yourself to go outside when it's cold, but again, it's not been as bad this year. I miss the mountains and adventures and
Oh
photography.
yeah. Oh, for
So,
sure. It's
yeah.
challenging to be a photographer when it's you can't.
Yeah, there's still things to take pictures of, but I don't like it as much. It's dreary.
I understand. For the next session is training section. So talking about what you're currently training for, any goals, competitions, or talking about how you like to train. So first of all, are you currently training for anything particular?
I did enter Dana Lynn Bailey, she's a bodybuilder. She
Oh
has
yeah,
this
I know who that is.
Yeah, she has a this 8 week blueprint challenge. So it's a fitness transformation challenge, and they have like a shredded category, weight loss, and then like body recomp. And I just finished a bulk at the end of the year, so I was like, I was gonna cut anyway. So I was like, well, I might as well see if I can win some money while I'm doing it. So it started last week, so it'll be 8 weeks, so it'll be about I think March 3rd is when it ends. Training for that. I was cutting anyway, but I don't have any plans to compete in a bodybuilding show or anything. Um, I do some random things I throw together for myself. I like to do some kind of challenges because it keeps you, you know,
Yeah,
why can't I say the word?
like motivated.
Yeah, or like accountable. That's what I was looking for. Keeps you accountable. So I've done some hiking challenges in the past. Like December, I decided to walk 25,000 steps every day, which was a lot. It was like 12 miles of walking every day, and I hated it, but I didn't miss a day.
Wow.
But I also decided with my seasonal depression, I was like, I need to be moving my body and be going outside. And so, yeah, that's kind of it so far. I usually try to do some, you know, big mountain hike, like a we don't I think our tallest mountain here is a little over 12,000 elevation. And I did
Whoa.
that 2 years ago. I had a plan to do another one this last year, but we had a really bad fire season, so I couldn't. But I'll have some hikes in the works to
Oh,
challenge myself.
I mean, that's a perfect training goal to
Yes,
climb a mountain because 12,000 feet, that's higher than Tahoe, right? Like Tahoe,
I'm not sure.
I'm
It
pretty
was high though. It was hard. Mount Bora is what it was the tallest peak in Idaho.
wow.
It wasn't fun. It was 4 miles up. I think it was, gosh, 8,000. That can't be right, can it? I think it was 8,000 elevation gain in 4 miles.
That
Don't take my word on it. You might have to look it up. I'm like, it seems accurate.
I mean, it seems high regardless. That's
Yeah, it was. I
wow.
lost my two big toenails and my pinky toe nail on that hike.
Intense. That's cool that you have more motivation for training to do what you love.
Yeah, you have to do cardio. I hate cardio, so unless it's like hiking.
So when it comes to your training, do you do your cardio on separate days or do you do same day as your weight training?
I really just walk. I'll try to do the Stairmaster on occasion. I have a background in swimming. I'll try to do so. I'm trying to incorporate more of it. I honestly feel like I sink a lot more now that I have more muscle
Yeah,
versus before I floated back. So swimming's a little bit more of a challenge than it used to be.
the muscle density.
Yes, I think that's the excuse at least.
So then, when it comes to weight training, do you do like a different split muscle group, kind of like a bodybuilding, or is it more like full body?
I usually will do like a push pull leg, like 2 leg day. But I've been kind of following Dana Lynn Bailey's chat. Like I've been writing my own workouts the last probably year and a half, 2 years, but I decided I should switch it up because I kind of do the same thing all the time. So I've been kind of following her split, but modifying it for things I like. But it's like a 6 day a week lift, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But it's like a leg day, quad, glute, back by, push day, shoulder day, and then a leg day, hamstring focused, and then a full body.
Ah, okay. So very like more of a bodybuilding, like muscle development.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, my cat is trying to get in. One second.
Oh yeah, you good. No worries.
I didn't know if you could hear her scratching at the door, so sorry.
No, no, you're fine. That's funny. Um, this is a random question, but
Yeah.
it's have you ever had an embarrassing gym moment?
Well, it happens all the time. I am such a klutz. I trip over things. I hit oh my gosh, this is on the cat scratch post, so sorry. It's like scratching, or
That's,
she's scratching it.
that's
I hit my head on the lat pull down bar all the time.
you stand up.
When the seats adjust, like it doesn't lock all the way, so I'll sit on it and then and I don't think anyone notices though. So I mean,
That's funny.
but yeah, it happens all the time. You just have to laugh at yourself, really. There's nothing else you can do about it.
Very true. I feel like everyone's experienced, something.
Yeah, just trying to make people sorry.
Are you?
She's like, "What are you doing?"
That's funny. Yeah, one time I remember I thought something was locked in and I like sat on it or something and I
But
like
yeah,
so yeah, that's funny.
I feel like that happens at least once a week for me.
Wow, pretty often.
I'm very klutzy.
That's okay. As long as you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, no, no. Well, actually, I did drop a 45-pound plate on my foot one time. It didn't break, but yeah, that happened. My knee broke the brunt of it, and so then it fell. So I think I could walk on it, so I never got it x-rayed, but I couldn't do like split squats for like probably
Dang,
3 months.
that's you're lucky. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was.
Wow. And that hurts to if you hurt your big toe and you don't have that mobility, it
Mm-hmm.
affects like your knee,
Well, it hit like the middle of my foot, like the
okay,
bony part. So
even worse.
I know.
That's crazy. Do
Yeah.
you have when you're at the gym, do you listen to anything in particular? Like, do you have a go-to song that gets you pumped up?
Oh gosh, I feel like my current music doesn't get me hyped up anymore. I like cycle through. I don't have a current song. Listen to a lot of rock. I was listening to some like rage metal just because I had some things going on in my life that I was angry about and I'm like I need to be angry at the gym
Kind of channel it?
to get it out. And then like EDM, dubstep, sometimes some hip hop, but
So a good beat, basically.
yeah,
I see. Okay. So there's not like one particular song that you just go to for like a
not
special moment?
really. Not that I can think of. What is it? I used to hate the song, but I've been listening to it the last week. The Bodies. I forget who sings it, but the Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. I've been listening to that like all week. I don't know why.
That's classic. I
Yeah.
forgot about that song. I'm gonna look that up. That's funny. Any pre-workout rituals or lucky charms? Like
N-
if you more so, do like journaling before going to the gym or have the
nope.
same free workout snack.
I just go first thing in the morning, have my coffee. I have to kind of force myself to eat because I'm not that hungry, but I know I'll do better if I eat. Like I do just cream of wheat and some protein powder.
Nice.
And then I just go. I don't take pre-workout or anything.
That's good.
If I have to go later in the day, I still don't take pre workout. I just realized for me, I feel my best when I go first thing and then I have the energy, to push through versus if you go later in the day, you're tired, hungry. So,
Yeah. That actually
yeah.
answers one of my other questions. If you're a morning person or afternoon person for going to the gym.
Yeah, definitely morning. I'm not like, I'll wake up around 5:30, but I'll roll into the gym around 7:30 probably. Not too early. I do like to probably shouldn't scroll social media as much, but see what's going on in the world while I enjoy my coffee
Yeah.
and yeah, get the day going.
And that's how a lot of us get updates on what's going on in the world as well from social
Yes.
media.
Yeah, right. I don't have the news, so that's the only way. Memes is how I get my news.
If you could do only one exercise for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Gosh, I have to say lat pull down. I love lat pull downs. It's bad. Like the hammer lat pull downs, the hammer machine where you load the plates on the side. I'm not as much of a fan of the cable lat pull down. It feels sometimes my shoulder clicks a little on that one, but I love the hammer machine that we have for it. That's my favorite.
Feels more natural.
Yeah, it's more stabilized too, so you're really just pulling down, and then I feel like you can kind of control it a little better going up.
Yeah, there's something about the pulley with the
Hmm.
standard. It just doesn't seem as controlled as the arm. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the hand placement, I always feel like I know you can switch it up, but on the pulley, I don't like it as much. The bar, I don't know. It just feels more comfortable on the plate loaded machine.
I get that. And I haven't heard lat pull down yet. I've heard
Oh, really?
single arm dumbbell row,
Yeah.
lunges or like
Oh,
squat.
lunges. No.
That's
I
a,
love pull-ups, but my gym doesn't have a I can do a couple pull-ups, but we don't have an assisted machine and I don't bring bands. So if
okay.
we had an assist, I'd probably say a pull-up, but need
Lat pull
to
down is same
same
thing.
thing. Yeah.
Same movement.
Yeah.
If you could create your own signature workouts, what would it be? Oh, this is the one that you said.
My work like
No,
the
like what style would it be?
oh, definitely I mean, I like more of a bodybuilding 'cause
Muscle
I
build?
like I am an upper body girl. I do legs, but I don't like doing legs. I think it's because I like hiking and walking so much. When I feel like legs are always sore when you're pushing gosh, heavy enough. Sorry, my cat is literally. This was a bad idea to put it on the cat post.
That's it. It adds to the
Yeah.
episode.
Probably like a just an upper body workout with like, your bench press, your row, shoulder press, maybe some rear delt exercises and bicep curl.
Awesome. Push pull upper body, but more
Yeah.
focus. Okay, nice. Huh. I like that. Is there a favorite way to reward yourself after, either a goal or just a good workout? Like, do you have like a favorite meal or favorite
Mm.
like frozen yogurt or something? Favorite like dessert?
Ooh, I love, oh my gosh, Greek yogurt with like some raspberries and honey in there. It's so good. I have a big sweet tooth and like I could eat candy all day and like donuts and that stuff's fine in moderation, but you get a bag of like Swedish fish in front of me and I'll eat most of it. So I love like the Greek yogurt, yeah, honey, raspberries, blueberries, so good.
That is good.
Pancakes, waffles, all the carbs,
All right. No, that's good. That's some good choices.
mashed potatoes,
So
carbs
basic
basically.
carbs. Okay.
Yeah, I'm an Idaho girl. I have to eat potatoes
Oh
and
yeah,
rice.
potatoes represent the state, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, forgot about that.
let me push her off 1 second.
Oh, no
Wait,
worries.
now she's gonna sit still. She's such a butthead.
That is
She's
fun.
my grumpy cat. I rescued her like 10 years ago. I think she's like 14, so she looks like grumpy cat kind of. Like she
I
looks like
bet.
she wants to kill you.
That's funny. Her
Yeah.
face is just a constant frown.
Yeah, I try to pick her up, but she'd probably scratch me.
That'd be a good blooper in the back.
Yeah. Maybe at the end.
Is there a fitness trend that you never really understood or you thought was overrated, or either that or strangest piece of fitness advice you've received?
Ooh. I feel like I'm not on TikTok, but all the things that people say on TikTok are crazy. I had someone at the gym tell me the other day, and I've heard people say this before, but like, oh, just take a shot of apple cider vinegar. It'll melt your belly fat away. Like stuff like that. Someone told me that the other day, and I was just like,
Really?
okay. Yeah.
Interesting. I've never heard that.
Fitness trend. I
Like I
don't
know
know.
it could be dietary as well. Like I remember back in the day, they made us feel like eggs were bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I guess I've done some stupid trends before. This is when I was trying to lose weight and was not successful. Again, being an Idaho girl, I did this thing. It was the potato diet where you only eat potatoes for like I don't remember how long I did it. Probably at least a week or two. But there was this girl on YouTube and she's like, I think she lost like 20 or 30 pounds just eating potatoes for a
Wow.
whole month. And I was like, I'm going to do that. So that was a silly one. Have you heard of the Master Cleanse? I did that too.
I've heard of the Master Cleanse.
Yeah,
But I'm curious
not
about the
fun.
potato thing, because that almost reminds me of like when the potato famine was in like Ireland,
Yeah,
and how their diet was mostly potato. When you were just eating potato, how did you feel?
I don't even really remember. I feel like I'm trying to remember. I think potatoes are really satiating. So I think I felt pretty good. They fill you up really well,
They have some
but
protein in there too. Like it's actually
yeah, not a ton though. It's all about calories at the end of the day. I can't remember how many calories I was eating. I think I was just eating as many potatoes as possible, and then that was it. I don't remember if I lost a ton of weight or anything. I probably did, but obviously it didn't work.
yeah, not
It
sustainable.
wasn't sustainable. Yeah. There's the people that lose all the weight eating McDonald's or Twinkies, or you can lose weight doing anything really, just don't eat as many calories.
Yeah, as long as it's a deficit, that's true.
Yeah.
That is funny though that being from Idaho, trying a
Yeah.
paleo diet. That's funny. That kind of goes into second to last section, the diet section. Do you have any specific diets that you follow?
So I was vegetarian for 12 years. I started eating fish like 5 weeks ago. So up until 5 weeks ago, I was vegetarian for 12 years. I ended up, there's, I was not good about supplementing my diet. And so I actually had some health issues develop. I had a cancer scare. My thyroid was, I actually have, you can probably see it. Can't hear. It's like I have a 4 centimeter nodule on my thyroid, and it's due to an iodine deficiency. But also, I was getting most of my protein from soy products, and I guess soy makes them grow. And so I had it biopsied and everything. They actually really scared me. So I thought for like 2 months I had cancer. So like November and December, I don't have cancer, so that's great.
Great news.
But in talking to my doctor, she's like, soy makes these grow. And so I decided to start incorporating fish into my diet. So I'm pescatarian now. I feel a lot better, honestly.
Good.
I think also I was having some symptoms. The last few years I've had brain fog, like fatigue, difficulty concentrating. I think some of that was due to the iodine deficiency, but I also think I was severely deficient in omega 3s. I wasn't supplementing those. So when I had salmon for the first time, I kind of gagged because it'd been so long since I had salmon, but I seriously felt high right after eating it, and I don't think it was in my brain. Like I think it actually legitimately was just the salmon hitting me, because the next 3 times I had it, the same thing happened.
Wow.
But now I feel normal when I eat fish, and I
Interesting.
wasn't. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say your brain was like,
I
craving
think
omega fatty
I
acids.
think so. And when I was growing up, we really didn't eat that much fish. So I honestly think I've probably always been somewhat deficient in omega 3 or 6. Is it 6 or no, it's 3. Yeah,
Right.
and I wasn't, I don't think being vegetarian or vegan is necessarily healthier. I just like animals, and so that's why
Oh, okay. I
yeah.
see. I was gonna ask you your motivation for that.
Yeah, I feel bad eating animals, and fish was hard too. I don't know if I'll ever eat chicken or beef or pork or anything. I can get behind eating fish though.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, that's much, at least you feel much better having
Yes.
that balance for sure.
Yeah. And I don't recommend it for people. Like, I think that having food, meat, dairy, vegetable. Obviously, some people are more sensitive to like gluten or dairy and they can't have it, but just eating whole foods is the best way to go.
Oh yeah.
So,
And I agree. I tried a vegan diet during like and I couldn't get enough calories. I didn't do it right because I didn't know how to do it right. So I was just
yeah,
eating,
you can. It's just really hard. You have to be on top of
yes,
it.
very challenging for me.
But protein is hard. I mean, you can do it, but without supplementing protein powder, I feel like it's really challenging for
Oh
vegans.
yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm
If
so
you're at least into bodybuilding or any strength training.
oh yeah, the balance feels much better for me for sure.
Hmm.
Having a balanced diet. Do you have any special recipes or actually I'll start with that. Any special recipes?
So I'm new to making fish. I am the laziest cook, honestly. I will make a pot of rice, like, a couple times a week. I get the frozen vegetables from Trader Joe's because I can't eat them fast enough, and it's so easy to just defrost. I'll
Let's see.
pan fry, bake some fish. I'll do a lot of yogurt, eggs. I don't really have any. I'm like a lazy cook.
Good stuff though. I mean, it's
Yeah.
good stuff. Then any favorite cheat meal?
Cheat meal. I have a sweet tooth all the time. I love dessert, like cheesecake, tiramisu, ice cream.
Okay.
all of that.
So, like on a like once a week or twice a week, more so like cream or tiramisu.
It really depends on the season. When I was bulking, I honestly kind of did some dirty bulking and I was like, I'm just whatever I want. Like I wasn't going
Yeah,
crazy, but just like a little bit. Right now I'm pretty serious because I'm in that competition that I'm doing, so I'm not really having anything. But yeah, I mean, I try to make things if I wasn't doing this just like fit my macros. So, you know, I'm not perfect. Like some days I'll go over, but if it fits in my calories, I can eat whatever I want. So,
true.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's pretty flexible for the most part. I'm typically not super strict on it.
Sounds like you're on top of it. So, and you have that balance figured out.
Hmm.
I just have three last questions.
Okay.
One is the coolest gym you've ever been to, or your favorite gym.
I need to go to more gyms because I have only really I work out at Crunch and I've gone to some of the crunches around here, but they're not the best, honestly.
That's right.
They get the job done. I used to be a lifeguard at the YMCA, so I worked out there.
That's
We have some really cool gyms here. I need to go work out there, but I haven't yet. So
okay. No worries.
I don't have a ton. Or there's like even when I travel, like a hotel gym, but that's kind of a joke. They don't really have much
That's
there.
small. Yeah.
So, yeah, I have yet to go to a really cool gym, but we do have quite a few around me. It's just, to be an actual member there, it's not really worth it because it's such, probably like a 20-minute drive one way, and my gym's like 5 minutes one way. So,
I see. Yeah, those
but
conventional gyms can be a lot more convenient. I've been going to
yes,
Crunch here in Florida.
yeah,
Me and my girlfriend will go to Crunch is like 3 miles away, as opposed to all these other little gyms.
yeah.
So that makes sense.
Convenience is where it's at.
Yeah, to save time, for sure.
Yeah.
Your favorite daily habits that sort of have made you into who you are. So I know that you meditation is most likely one of them, something along those lines.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of boring. I do a lot of the same thing. I feel like meditation in the gym. It's where when I'm at the gym, I think I like it so much too because I'm able to focus just on the task at hand. So I am being very present. I'm not thinking of, anything good or bad. I'm just present. I'm just focusing on lifting the weight. And, when you do hard things, life gets easier when you actually do have challenges thrown at you. Uh, my coffee. I'm a big morning routine person. I feel like other than that, my days just kind of depend on my work schedule. So that's really like the gym, I feel like I
Okay.
feel really boring when I
No, no, honestly, I have to say, you do sound very disciplined. Like it
yeah,
sounds like discipline is not a problem for you, which is amazing.
it's a muscle, right? I mean, it wasn't easy for me to start, and it's funny, the person I was 3.5 years ago would have no idea the person I am today. And I think that's pretty cool. But she probably wouldn't believe, yeah, she wouldn't believe that I'm at where I'm at right now.
At the
So, and
beginning,
I'm excited to see the person I'll be in 3.5 more years.
that is amazing. To see the big picture, how far you've
Yeah.
come. Yeah, that's exciting. Our last question is kind of a fun one. It's what would your ideal fitness adventure or challenge look like? I have a feeling I know what you're gonna say since you're in, 2 hours from the mountains.
Yeah. Definitely hiking. We have beautiful mountains. Stanley, Idaho. It's the Sawtooth Mountain Range. I travel a lot for my job as a photographer, and I get to go to all these beautiful national parks. And I do love the national parks so much, but I have so much peace out in Stanley with our Sawtooth Mountains. It feels like heaven. It really does. Like there's nothing like it. So I wanted to do it last year, but we had really bad fire season out there. Mount Thompson is the highest peak in the Sawtooth Mountains. Beautiful from the pictures, at least, from the peak looking down. I made it to the lake by myself. It was my first solo hike 2 years ago, the first big solo hike, like wilderness solo hike. And I had so much fun, but the peak was about a mile and a half farther. And I just, safety reasons, I didn't really feel comfortable going that far off if I was to fall and no one would know where I was. So that's my big summer goal this year one of them is to climb there and my adventure and just exploring more national parks. I love Mount Rainier, the Cascades, beautiful. Hopefully spending more time in Washington. That's probably one of the prettiest
How
states for
how far is the drive? If you wanted to go
to where?
to like Ogden, Utah, or
Ogden. So about Salt Lake, right?
yeah,
I want to say it's probably 5.5, 6 hours. So
that's
not
not
too
bad at
bad.
all.
Yeah.
Wow,
Maybe 6.5, somewhere in there.
you got everything around you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty good central base for adventure.
Awesome. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for everything and sharing all the
Yeah.
insights, sharing your story. You did awesome for your first
Oh,
time,
thank you. Thank you.
really well, and no, I appreciate all the insight.
Yeah, of course.
Is there anything else you want to share with whoever
I don't
watches
think
this?
so.
Okay, well, good.
Well, just I think that so many people don't give themselves enough credit. Are what if believing in yourself, it sounds cheesy and cliche, but you have to believe in yourself. And once you do, like you are capable of so much more than you can ever even dream of, you know. Show up for yourself, patience, consistency, hard work, but I don't think anyone did that, they're not going to regret it. Like your life can be so much better. Like I don't know. I honestly shudder to think if I didn't change who I was, like where I would be and if I'd even be here, honestly.
And that's
Just, you know,
fitness in a sense.
it's like the gateway. It really is the gateway to everything. Obviously, there can be unhealthy levels of fitness. It can be an obsession for some people.
Yeah,
But I feel like every single aspect of my life has just drastically improved since it really has. I don't think there's any. And it can honestly be lonely too. Like I've had to leave some friendships just because, you know, they were I'm so proud of some of them. Some of them have grown and changed and become better themselves, but I think some people when you start to choose to be better, they get uncomfortable and they don't like it. And so Alex Hormozy talks about it, but it's like the lonely chapter.
yes,
And I
good
think
answer.
he says it really well. If you don't, you know, if anyone listening to this doesn't know what I'm talking about, look, or no, was it Chris Williamson? It was both. I think it was Chris Williamson with Alex Hormozy.
They're both awesome.
Yes,
Yeah,
but I think it was them talking to each other, and
podcast.
it really resonated with me. It can be lonely, but it's worth it, and you're gonna find the right people in your life that'll support you. And sometimes it just takes a while to become the person you want to be and find those other people that are like you.
I love that. That was perfect for. I'm glad you shared that at the end.
Yeah,
That's perfect. Thank you.
yeah, of course.
Um, I that concludes episode number 11, and I will stop this. I'm still trying to figure out how to